and LNP MP for Flynn Colin Boyce joins me right now. Colin, great to see you. Obviously got a few problems with the direction of the party and the leader at the moment. What is the central problem here, Colin?
Well, it's very simple, Laura. If we go to the federal election as a standalone entity, the National Party, it's highly likely that you'll face political oblivion, or at least the National Party will. The National Party senators in Victoria and New South Wales, it's highly likely that they won't even get enough quota to hold a Senate seat. We will open up opportunity for three-party contests in many of the National Party held seats. That will split the primary vote. Again, it's arguable whether the National Party will hold those seats. With the rise of One Nation, we've opened up the right flank. With Barnaby Joyce defecting to One Nation, that has proved to be a problem for the National Party. That was architected by David Littleproud, literally. The National Party also face huge problems in terms of raising enough money for an election campaign. All of the election donation rules change come June, July this year. That's a big issue. If we continue to stand alone and not in a coalition agreement, all of the people that support the shadow cabinet positions that we have, we will lose all of those staff, all of those dedicated people that have been with the party for a very long time, their expertise and so forth. The shadow minister portfolios will lose all their travel entitlements. So it makes the position of trying to hold the National Party together at the next election, if we stand alone, very, very difficult.
So this is existential in your view, and do you blame David Littleproud for that? What essentially for laying the blame at the feet of Susan Lee when he announced the second split of the coalition? What about those MPs that crossed the floor and put Susan Lee in that difficult position, and indeed David Littleproud?
Well, again, as James Patterson articulated this morning, there are rules surrounding the Westminster system and cabinet solidarity. Everybody is well aware of those. How can you have a shadow cabinet if those rules aren't adhered to? This is the second time this has happened. I feel that the Liberal Party would be highly unlikely to go into a coalition agreement with David as the current leader, and that's why I'm putting myself forward for an alternative for my colleagues. Now, David's done his very best over the last 4 years that he's been the leader, but there's been some bad decisions. There's been some things that have been said that won't be unsaid, and for me, that position is not tenable.
So, Colin, in the end, do you think David Littleproud should have backed Susan Lee's decision to protect the sanctity of those rules rather than backing his own National Party members?
Look, that is a negotiation process that has failed, and that is squarely at the feet of both the National Party leader and the Liberal Party leader. This has all come about because of at the emergency sitting of Parliament and the bill that the government put forward. Everybody should have rejected that bill purely on the basis that it was rushed, it was hastily put forward, it wasn't debated properly, it was split in half, it was chopped and changed. Nobody knew what was going on, and it should have been rejected in its entirety, let alone its content. It wasn't, and that is a failure
Colin,
of process.
You say, yeah, it was a junk process. You obviously support those MPs that crossed the floor. You knew the rules. David Littleproud backed them in. He says, you know, he was uncomfortable and would have voted against those laws as well. But where did he go wrong? I'm just trying to figure that out. Was it that when he announced the split from the coalition, he said he couldn't work with Susan Lee, which made it really hard for the band to get back together? Is that the central problem you have with him?
Oh, correct. And again, if you look at actually what happened, most of the National Party abstained from the vote in the lower house. So there were options that could have been pursued, but they weren't.
Right. Okay, so let's make this clear. You're calling for a leadership spill on Monday. Will you stand for leader? What will you do if David Littleproud survives?
What will I do if David Littleproud survives? Well, first of all, we've got to get through the party room on Monday to see what the colleagues think about that. Obviously, if David is chosen as the leader, he then becomes the leader of the National Party, and I will respect that decision of my colleagues. It's entirely up to them, but I warn them, if we continue to go down this road alone, we face political oblivion.
Will you put your hand up for leader?
Yes, I will.
How much support do you think you have?
That's unknown, and that's up to my colleagues, and that's to be determined in the National Party room.
Surely you're making your best pitch right now, Colin. You're putting it forward. Have you had some good feedback?
That's internal politics, and what happens in that party room stays in that party room.
Fair enough. Would you rule out sitting as an independent or going to One Nation?
I am not going to One Nation, as I've said many, many times. Political mathematics makes it very difficult to hold a lower house seat. 50% plus one on a two-party preferred basis, very difficult to achieve for One Nation, versus a Senate spot where you have to get 14.2 something or other to win a Senate seat. Different proposal. That's why Barnaby's running for the Senate, and that's why Pauline runs for the Senate. In terms of what happens and hypotheticals, I won't be leaving the National Party. I will be coming back to my FDC electorate, my supporters here in Flynn. We'll be discussing those matters when and if that happens.
Colin, you're very clear-eyed on the numbers, the machinations and the brutal local politics and where the numbers lie. We appreciate your time today. Do keep in touch. We hope to speak to you again, maybe on Monday.
For sure. Thank you, Laura.